Hello and welcome everyone in another episode of Researcher Celebrity. Today we have Dr. Adwait Parida with us, and a brief about Dr. Parida. Dr. Parida has done PhD from India in plant biology from Delhi University South Campus. Thank you very much, Dr. Parida, for taking time out. And our traditional question: that how and when you decided that you wanted to be a researcher.
During MSc, I think so, because during MSc, I was BSc and MSc. I was so interested in plant science. Then I took the botany as a honor subject, and then at that time I initially decided that I will do MSc and PhD and go into the research. But after coming into MSc in Sambalpur University, Odisha, realized many of the professors are doing very good research there and are more into that, and I think I decided at that time that I will go for a PhD and do research.
Okay. So at masters, when you thought that you want to do a PhD, and during that time, how was the journey of your PhD, if you can share?
Which one?
The journey of the PhD.
I think it's a very cool one. But initially, everybody has to struggle a little bit more for to getting a good university or good institute, good department, and topic of interest. So at that time I was interested in epigenetics, and I found one in Delhi University, Professor Arun Sharma, who was working in DNA methylation. So I contact him, and he says, okay, at that time I have CSI or JRF, so this won't be any problem to take me as a PhD student for him. So that's the initial things. But having a good interest in a subject and working in the same subject is a two different thing. Initially, when I start with the primer designing, cloning, and all these things, the first day, at that time I faced a lot of problem, and some people, like some of my seniors, Dr. Manoj Sharma, he's an assistant professor in JNU. He helped me a lot in that, and during that cloning and that things, I struggled a lot. It is for everyone, but yeah, at the final stage, when you got keep learning, and things goes smoothly after that. And I think that is the most important thing: reading and practicing science. This makes your PhD smoother. Yeah.
Nice. So for all the viewers, reading makes it easy. Okay. So there is no way that you can escape reading research articles. Read as much as you can. And then the second point is also always try to keep what you want to take out of that paper. Keep the bullets on. And now going back to Dr. Parida.
Okay.
So when you were reading a lot of articles during your PhD,
Yeah.
how that helped you to write your own articles?
Yeah, that's actually initially it was very tough for when you are coming from master to PhD. Reading one paper take a lot of time, and sometimes you don't understand what is the author, the paper want to tell you. Sometimes the English is very different, and the way they are presenting their data, sometimes they are different. So I learned it from my seniors, from my mentor, that how to read a paper. First read the abstract twice, thrice. First understand the abstract, because the abstract is the whole paper. So that is the most important thing. Then go to the introduction, results. Discussion is the most very critical things in the paper that determine the value of the paper. So read discussion properly. That's one of my senior always told me, read the discussion at least twice or thrice, so that you understand what the author actually want to say. So yeah, that's the way. And what's your question was? I think
I think that is good one. And for all the viewers here, that reading a paper itself is a task. If you do it nicely and wisely, that's when you are getting what you wanted out of that paper. Because there are so many things in a paper. As Dr. Parida said, that reading the abstract itself can help you. But when you are just starting your journey, so you have to go through starting from the title of the paper till the acknowledgements, and that includes all of the references. So you have to start it like this. But once you are mature enough, you know what you are going to take out of that paper, and then you just focus on that. So focused reading only comes once you have done all the basics right. So your first publication came in which year, and then which year of PhD you were?
It's actually after the PhD.
Uh-huh.
Before publication, I got a postdoc in University of Wisconsin, so I just moved. But after that, I just came back to Delhi University again. I joined the same lab as a postdoc and published my paper. So it was very tough for me, to if we send the paper to journals, and if he says something that correct this, and no one is there to do that. So I think I should continue this, and I think after 2 years of my PhD, I got my first paper. But after that, every year it is coming one or two paper.
Mhm.
So I'm happy that now it's a bunch of paper, but still I need some more.
Yeah, obviously. So people in research says that publication is your currency, and all of the researchers want as much as they can. So Dr.
Yeah.
Parida is no exception to that. Coming back to the PhD, when there is so much of pressure nowadays, people want to just publish, and there are things like, oh, you publish or you perish. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, initially when I was in my PhD in that tenure, my professor, I found a very good mentor, Professor Arun Sharma. He always says, he's not giving more importance to publication. He always says, do science first.
Mm-hmm.
Do science. Then we will think about the publication.
Mm-hmm.
So that is another way that I got, lazy to writing that thing. But okay, but that is the main important thing, that learn first, then find out something, then write something.
Mm-hmm.
So now nowadays there is a very big competition on writing papers.
Mhm.
People just want to publish
Mhm.
whatever they have. But at that time in that lab, it was not there.
Mhm.
He wants to be good publication, and it's a very critical subject. Epigenetics. So he want everything to be proper,
Mhm.
and yeah, we struggle a lot with the experiments also. So meanwhile, he was guiding, and he always says, two things, some which can be patented or publication.
Mhm.
But our work is to be publication. So yeah, at that time there is no such pressure for publication. Now I think now most of the universities has given some rules in India that you have at least two paper for the submission of your thesis.
Mhm.
In our time, we are lucky that we don't have,
Mhm.
but we are unlucky that we don't have.
Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So if this rule is there, then I have to publish two paper, and I have to run for the publication. But I was cool, and okay, I'll publish.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes me late, so but it's okay. Yeah, but running for the publication is not good. I
Mhm.
think so.
Mhm.
Doing good science and publishing a good journal is more important than publishing small data in small paper or like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice. So for all the viewers, whenever you think about publishing, there are always two ways. You compile a nice story, build up it, and then you publish, which people then say that high impact fact journals, all of that stuff. You have to keep going also, because once you are doing PhD, you have certain mandate. In some universities, it is just one publication. In some, there is more, two or whatever. So you have to see that you fulfill that mandate first. And the best part of PhD is to get trained. Do your science best, and the publications later or sooner they will come for sure. Because what you are doing, you are spending a lot of time in your lab. You are performing all the experiment it takes. So basically, you are generating the data, which is going to get published. Okay, so don't rush yourself for publication. Neither don't be so much of relaxed also that you will take whatever time it takes. So after your PhD, when you moved to United States,
Yeah.
you had no publication at that
Yes.
time.
Yes.
But when you were in United States, you thought that you want to publish it. That's the reason you went back, or was it tough to accommodate yourself in there? What was the reason?
I think I would like to say both.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, sometimes things doesn't go in your way, and sometimes you have to decide either this or this.
Mhm.
Then take the decision.
Mhm.
Might be at that time I thought I'm taking it as a positive decision, but it was, the decision is not that important. After that, what is happening,
Yes.
that is more important. At that time, I thought that I will not never come to US,
Mhm.
but again, I am in US. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, the work environment in the US is far better than
Mhm.
India, and I think so.
Mhm.
Uh, that's why I again came back to US.
Mhm. So here, one thing which we always try to tell to our viewers, that whenever you are making decision moving out of India, you have to think it through, that there will be cultural shock, there will be educational shock, in a way that the way we got training in India is not what people outside the world, practice it. So we have to consider all of these things, that how much this difference we can handle, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. Because some people are workaholic by training, and then in some of the places you have the limited number of hours, so you have to work during that hour only, because then the building is closed. All of this, get as much as information you can for your prospective lab, and then see that will you be the best fit of for the lab, as well as the lab is the most suited lab for you at that point of time. Because all these small decisions gives a big impact in your longer career. Coming back to the career, now when you are here performing your postdoctoral research, how do you see a researcher from your, so the time when you were doing your bachelor's,
Okay.
now as a researcher, how that researcher has evolved?
How the researcher has evolved? I didn't understand your question.
Evolve means you have, so you don't think the way you were thinking in bachelor's
Okay.
about the research.
Okay. Yeah, things changes after when you get exposed to different environment, exposed to different literature, scientific literature, and read a lot of stuff on your research area. Your thoughts changes.
Mhm.
So, but what kind of change you want to ask? I don't know.
I'm saying just in general, the researcher, the evolution of a researcher, what you have to share about that?
Evolution of researcher.
Mhm.
So I think, for example, in BSc and MSc, I want to be a plant biologist,
Mhm.
a taxonomist.
Mhm.
But when I came to masters, I want to be a molecular biologist.
Mhm.
That's why I joined molecular biology, Delhi
Mhm.
University. I became a molecular biologist. Now, I realize that molecular biologist, there is nothing called molecular biology. It
Mhm.
is a part of biology, and it is used everywhere.
Mhm.
Okay, either some people working in environmental science, they use molecular biology.
Mhm.
Some animal people, some plant people, some different area of plant science, they all use molecular biology. So at that time you have to decide one topic. So
Mhm.
for example, epigenetics, I have decided I will do work on that. I did that. Now after that, I thought when I came for postdoc, I was initially searching for the same kind of work that I
Mhm.
was doing in PhD,
Mhm.
but finally I didn't get that.
Mhm.
And it is a better thing that you get exposure to another topic.
Mhm.
So it's a kind of good thing that you have expertise in two different things.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, finally I'm now in department of entomology, although I'm working in the plant and microbe interaction
Mhm.
through an insect. So it's a different exposure. So things changes and it's evolved after your experience, with your age, with your unsuccess, with your success,
Absolutely.
everything.
We would like to tell all of our viewers that whenever everyone talks about success, there is always a bunch of failure experiments in there, and everybody accepts that. Every single researcher. Second point is to keep your broaden your horizons. PhD gives you all the training which it takes for the lifetime. It is up to you how to utilize it in different ways. As Dr. Parida said, that he wanted to be a molecular biologist, but then he realized that molecular biology is used almost everywhere in biology. So if you are in biology, you are performing somehow the molecular aspect of that. This is one way to be more optimistic and positive, and then you open your horizons also. When you are getting expertise in another field, because PhD made you a master of something, whatever your topic was. Now you have published your thesis that says that nobody in the universe has done the same work before that, because that's the reason why you get that topic in the first hand. Second part, that now you got expertise in something, you can use the same technique, same tools for something else, and then now you can move your area of research, your research focus, and the questions you ask, because that is the part of your training, when you start asking questions. And this brings us to our next question, that now as a researcher, when you think that you are answering a question, if it is your question, how efficient you think you are in that, and if somebody else comes for collaboration, so your expertise in keeping in the core, how do you think that that research question is affecting you as in your research?
How the question is?
You know, it is driving. Okay, let's see that how your research question is driving your research.
Yeah. See, there is always a question for our research. Why this is happening, how this is happening, who is involved in that. For example, in molecular biology, if you are talking about, why this is happening, and how this is the mechanism, how it is happening, what are the regulatory elements. So these are the questions you are asking about those. Okay. So now. And for collaboration, if you think that we need some another expertise from this field, okay, so you can collaborate. And I don't know how in US how to collaborate and all these things, official documents. But yeah, initially researchers are interested in collaboration, and yeah, they are doing. And and your second question was?
And I think this is the way how we should talk about that also. And collaboration is the key for success in research, okay? Because that's what it takes is like it brings the expertise from different groups to answer one single research question, to make it more impactful, more useful for the society, because the amount of expertise, different purviews it comes from, if a biologist is including, and then biophysicists adding their own way. So now even people from biology, they are collaborating with astrophysicists also. So collaboration always keep in your mind.
And data science is, that.
Oh, the data science is coming up so
representation
strong.
of data and all these, and big data representations. That is, always, if you are trying to solve the problem of a single question, the answer of that question creates many questions.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So then you need, this needs some expertise in computer science. This need a, microbiologist. This need a plant biologist. So like that, it's combination of a scientist or collaboration of different peoples to solve those questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So your experience with collaboration and your experience with the failure of it, if you have experience.
No, I don't have such. But while I was in postdoc in Delhi University, we have some collaboration with Hyderabad University. This is running very good, and we published some good papers from there. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, collaboration is always good in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now talking about, so this is kind of a brighter side of your research.
Yes.
Let's take the dip back in the PhD when things were not going the way you wanted. How did you cope up with that?
Yeah, that gives you a lot of frustration. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes if you expect something,
Mhm.
you know, you are very expected that this will give this result.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm very cool. I'm going to sleep,
Mhm.
but after that, in the morning, you saw that there is nothing.
Mhm.
So you have to start from the beginning.
Mhm.
So that sometimes very frustrated. You know,
Mhm.
yeah, people get frustrated, and I personally I'm very emotional. I got frustrated very easily.
Mhm.
Yeah, but at that time, you know, your friends, your seniors, your mentors, their behavior should be polite. If then that you can survive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know that is more important. Your environment, your lab environment should be good.
Mhm.
And yeah, fortunately, I have that. My seniors, my juniors, they all my friends. They help me a lot because they have the similar kind of
Yes.
problem. So we just discuss all these things, you know, and try to solve them combinedly. You know,
Mhm.
if someone is doing some new work, he or she don't have any idea, and you also read, oh, why you ask these questions, we'll read this
Mhm.
and solve that.
Mhm.
That's a very good you know, working culture in Delhi University,
Mhm.
especially in South Campus and in plant molecular biology. So yeah, I got some good friends who's
Mhm.
you know, very cooperative, and they helped me a lot during this kind of period because everyone has to face this problem.
Yes.
You know, so one child born, then it start to cry.
Mhm.
Just like one person join in PhD, he first failure, he first taste this taste of failure.
Mhm.
Okay, so then after he become expert.
Yeah, so I think PhD trains you for crying also.
Yes.
And this is a general phenomena which have been observed in
Yeah.
so many researchers. So how to keep those tears as your power?
Yeah, that is the most important thing, I think so. Because if you got failure, there are two ways.
Mhm.
Either you got frustrated, got drunk, or leave the PhD, or you have to work hard to achieve your goal again.
Mhm.
So you have to choose the second one always.
Mhm.
So if that is the case, many people left PhD.
Yeah.
Many
Oh,
people
yes.
left PhD, and this is the reason. This is the reason, and many people are good in that. From the same lab, some people left. Some people do very good publication, very good research. So you have to choose which path you want to go, because in future, if you are in the PhD, you are facing such problem that means in future there are big problems out
Yes.
there. Okay, so you have that PhD prepare yourself. You prepare you to struggle with those big one.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, absolutely.
yes.
And that's why we always say that PhD gives you the training for the life. And if you have done it well, you are trained for the life and you got whatever it takes to be at least a happy person. If not, because the definition of success is different for everyone else. Someone sees it money, someone sees it happiness, someone sees it calm and content. So it is up to you, but PhD gives you that. That is for sure and certain. As you brought about the dropouts of PhD, the recently what has been seen is like people are dropping out after 3, 4, 5 years also. There are cases in that. What do you suggest to a researcher who's thinking or starting think to quit the PhD?
Uh, some people join. Most of the things is most of the people. If you, I don't want to mention, but there are some universities where it is more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so people went for PhD. They got CSIR, got money, and prepare for something else like civil services and all that.
Okay.
Okay, and after getting they quit.
Mm-hmm.
They are determined. They are not focused to research. They are focused to job.
Mm-hmm.
And the young generation, everyone wants to earn money as much as possible in small time.
True.
That's not possible in research.
Okay.
Okay, so people get frustrated, when you see your friends who has less mark than you, but he is getting a good job,
Mm-hmm.
he's earning more than you.
Mm-hmm.
So people thinks, this I will left it. I
Mm-hmm.
left and I'll go for the same thing that. But if you are for research, you will be stay in the research. You will be there. You will complete your PhD. You will complete postdoc. When in future you will must be a good scientist.
Nice. So this brought us to our next topic, that money cannot be a driving force for initial part of research. Obviously, once your training done, once you are expert of something, and then when you are working towards a patent or commercialization of a patent, then it gives you a lot of money. So that is taken care of, but only after certain amount of years or experience you have put it into. One thing which is way more important than anything else, that if you are passionate, if you love your research, if you think you can do it for the rest of your life, at least at that point of time, then only you consider a to join PhD. And obviously, as Dr. Parida just mentioned, that some people have their priorities clearer. They want to be in research for a short time, and then once they have the way out, they just walk out. Obviously, it's their choice. There is nothing wrong in that. But if you consider yourself as a researcher and you want to be in research, always double check your commitment, because you might deviate from one topic to another. But as we always say, that once a researcher, always a researcher. Research will never give up on you until unless you give up on research. That is the known fact. Now, coming back, when you said that you got hard time, you got support from your lab members and your mentor.
Yeah.
Still after that, were there any point when you thought that you want to quit research?
I never thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was the only single thing. From the BSc, I want to be a researcher. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, sometimes I deviate, but
Mm-hmm.
when I thought about it, no, I have to quit research. Then no, I will not.
Okay.
Okay, so teaching opportunity and all that are my all my friends are applying, but I was not applying
Mm-hmm.
in teaching because I want to stay in research.
Mm-hmm.
Once I enter into colleges where there is no research, only teaching is there, I never applied on those things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I stick to research always.
Nice. So you can see that amount of passion, that is like no. Quitting to research is no, not possible. That is the attitude which a researcher brings with it, and that is the reason for your success in sooner or later, whenever at different stages of career. Because as I said, success, some people think for a PhD student getting a postdoc in a reputed university or state is a success. Then it changes from a postdoc to a faculty position or going to industry. That's when they call it success. So it is up to you. You can define your own success. The only thing is you are committed to it. As Dr. Parida said, no quitting. Okay, let's enjoy research.
Yes.
Going ahead, what are the future plans?
Actually, there is no future plan.
Okay.
Okay, we all are struggling. I am struggling. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Now I am a postdoc. So in future, there are two things. Either I will enter into an academic life
Mhm.
or assistant professor, either in India or in US or any other country,
Mhm.
where I can do the research of interest that I have.
Nice.
Because if you are in a different lab, then you will do the research of your interest, but that actually the research interest of your mentor or
Mhm.
supervisor.
Absolutely true.
So yeah, that is the first dream.
Mhm.
And the second thing is I have to find out. If not, then I have to find out another postdoc.
Mhm.
Okay, but there are some opportunity. Some companies,
Mhm.
they are also hiring for their R&D.
Mhm.
If that is also is okay,
Mhm.
because they are also doing research in different topic,
Mhm.
but they are very specific of their own interest
Mhm.
for the customer's interest or the company interest.
Mhm.
That is also an option.
Mhm.
So that is the first, second, and third options for me. So I will try all.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Nobody knows future. So
Mhm.
yeah, we have to try everywhere.
what we can see is like you're a very easygoing person. You're open for everything.
Yes.
The only thing which you want to do is like research.
Yes,
That is your thing.
that is
You
important.
just
Yes.
cannot leave anything except
Yes,
research.
either in company, either in university, anywhere,
Mhm.
can do research. Yeah, that's
See,
the thing.
you guys can see the amount of damage research has done to a researcher here who is ready to do anything, go anywhere wherever research is there. And I think this is what is the most important part. Once you have decided on something, there is no looking back. You are so determined that except research you are not going to do anything. Yes, but you have keep the options open that wherever the opportunity is there, either in industry or it is in academia or anywhere where he can perform the thing which he is interested in, because that was also a key point, that it is not like he is ready to do research, not any research, only thing which he is interested in. And this is what takes you to the success. And who knows, after couple of years, then we'll be having Dr. Parida again in our researcher celebrity conversation, and he might be an CEO, entrepreneur, or whatnot.
Hope so.
Because this
Hope
is
so.
what is happening nowadays, what we have seen. How do you see research as life? Because people are started talking about life and work balance, work and life balance, and then you have done a decent amount of research in your life.
Yes.
What were the struggles in terms of work-life balance which you have faced?
So, family and work. You are talking about the balance between.
Mhm.
Balance is important, but in my case, after when I start my research, I was alone.
Mhm.
Now also alone. So my family pressure is not that much.
Mhm.
Okay, so I have not faced such kind of pressure, but yeah, we have to do something for our family. That's
Yes.
I always try to do. Sometimes it is not possible for us to meet our parents, meet our brothers sisters for a long time, 1 year,
Mhm.
2 years, like that. That's okay, but if you are nowadays video calling, everything is possible, so
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. uh, but yeah, sometime we should spend some time with our family.
Mhm.
That is more important. That keeps your brain cool,
Mhm.
and your critical thinking will be improved when
Oh,
you
yes.
yeah you when you talk to your parents, talk to your brothers, sisters, your friends. So that is important. Just relaxing for
Mhm.
5 minutes, 10 minutes every day. It works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking about families and friends, how your family and your friend contributes you being a researcher?
Yeah, my family has contributed a lot.
Mhm.
Especially my parents, my brothers, sisters. They all have some contribution. No doubt, every parents has to do that for that. And I think my parents do sufficient amount of struggle for me
Mhm.
to reach to the university.
Mhm.
They, I think, sponsored up to my masters.
Mhm.
That's a greatness. And yeah, every middle class family story.
Mhm.
It's in India. It's the
Mhm.
same that I have.
Mhm.
Nothing else.
Okay. So now,
The problem of money, the problem of moving one place to another place,
Mhm.
getting some again more money when
Mhm.
you are 20 years, 22 years, then you are asking for money for your parents, and you know that your parents don't have.
Mhm.
Sometimes that happens, but yeah, it's the story of every middle class family in India. But
Mhm.
we have to uh, do our things, what we want to achieve. We have to run for that.
Okay, so this brings us to another point, that if some families are not very well equipped, and now you have a research experience of so many years, what do you suggest to those kids who want to pursue PhD, but because of the financial uh, constraints in the family, they cannot pursue?
No, if you have CSI or JRF, DBT, JRF, or something like that in India,
Mhm.
or a funding, then the
Mhm.
problem will be solved.
Okay.
So first go for a funding, then join it.
Okay.
This is the simple thing.
Yeah, I think this is a great way. So, I believe that all the researchers, our young researcher at least, they do know that all these exist, and there are fellowships which are individual based also. So funding agencies do fund you if you want, if you have a good question which is answering a research problem, and then you can get funding from the PIs also, because the PI are submitting their own grant, and if you know a lab of your interest, you can always go and talk to the PIs and then express your interest that you want to do, which aligns with the lab. So this is also another way which is a possibility, because one thing is for sure is that the time never stays the same. If you have a constraint today, it might vanish tomorrow, and then who knows. And what we have seen in recent time, that with the startups starting in India and abroad, a lot of researchers are making a lot of money. Turning into a unicorn is not a big thing. Just from startup to unicorn, there are so many success stories. The researchers with an idea have done that. So why not you? Everyone has that potential. What it takes is that extra step, because what people think about is the failures. What people think about is the struggle which they have to go through. But the truth is, without that struggle, there is no fruit also. You can live, anyone can live the mediocre life, and if they are fine with that, and there is nothing wrong in that. But the point is, you choose your success, you choose what makes you happy, and what we always say, that do whatever makes you happy. Coming back to happiness, what makes you happy?
What makes me happy?
Yes.
There are a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Good food,
Mm-hmm.
good sleep,
Nice.
and good publication.
Oh, see, researchers are always researchers. They need publications at end of everything.
And good results.
Yes, absolutely.
That increases the hormones level. What that is?
Testosterone?
No.
I don't know. But what you are saying is like the
That
adrenaline.
adrenaline. Yeah.
Or serotonin, the happy hormone.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, if you see yourself that there is a path which you have traveled, there is another which you are going to travel. What you suggest on the basis of your experience to our audience, that what they should be focused on when they think that they want to pursue a career in PhD or like in research?
Okay. First thing that we have already discussed about the funding thing. There are a lot of different funds except the GRF, CSIR, and DBT or these things. There are a lot of funding that most of the people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There are some international fundings also. Just search it.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot, more than 100 different types of funding agencies are there which are funding for PhD.
Mm-hmm.
So do a good search,
Mm-hmm.
find out some, apply somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
and then got any one
Mm-hmm.
of them, and then start doing your research. And the second thing that you have asked,
This is what I am asking.
Yeah.
What are your suggestions?
yeah, this is the first thing. Then choose your subject of interest. Sometime people run for the brand name of the university, but I don't know. But that's a that is I never run for that.
Mhm.
I just run for the subject of interest where I.
Mhm.
If you like to do it in a big universities or branded universities,
Mhm.
then it's also okay.
Mhm.
But if you are doing it in a small university but in a topic of interest,
Mhm.
you will must do good in your research.
Mhm.
So because your interest is more important than the university.
Absolutely.
And the funding of the university is more important.
Yeah.
So yeah. Then after PhD, you have to prepare for some good publication.
Mhm.
In some good papers, good journals, having some good impact factor or average impact factor doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But writing a good CV,
Mhm.
doing some good research to how to write a CV,
Yes.
how to write SOP, how to
Mhm.
write subject of interest, how to write the teaching experience. These needs to read something,
Mhm.
then you prepare yourself, your one, and be specific, be targeted,
Mhm.
then start applying, you will get.
Nice. with this, what we will say is, like Dr. Parida just said, bulleted, your research interest should be the first question. Second is, how well funded is the lab which you are looking for? And the third, keep going for it, and then you will get what you wanted. With this, we will say thank you very much, Dr. Parida, for taking time out and sharing the journey. And for all the audience, stay tuned with another episode of Researcher Celebrity. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.